Trying to decide between Omaha and Kansas City? Well, look, you're not alone, because a lot of people are relocating to the Midwest, and they're comparing these two cities right now. And while they might seem similar at first, they're actually very different once you dig in. In this video, I'm going to break down the cost of living, jobs in the economy, housing, lifestyle, as well as things to do. And by the end, you'll know exactly which city fits you better. Now, if we haven't met before, my name is Chris Pucci. I'm a local realtor and lender right here in the Kansas City Metro, and I help people just like you relocate here and make a smooth transition. So, if you're thinking about moving to Kansas City or even just comparing it to other cities like Omaha, make sure to subscribe to the channel. Now, you're going to want to stick around to the end because we're going to touch on one of the most important considerations when relocating to a new city. Now, I've lived in both Omaha and I live here in Kansas City, and both these cities are terrific, but they offer two distinct Midwestern lifestyles. So with that all being said, let's get into it. Omaha is a smaller, quieter city, has a population of about 500,000 people who live in the metro. Kansas City, though, on the other hand, is much larger, with a population of over 2.2 in the metro area. And that alone changes everything, because Omaha is going to feel more laid back, it's going to feel easier to navigate, and it's going to feel less crowded. Kansas City feels, though, more dynamic, more spread out, with a lot more things going on. So the question you might ask yourself is, would you rather live in a quieter city or a bigger metro? So let's talk money, because this is a big reason people consider both cities. Omaha, for instance, slightly lower overall cost of living, you've got lower home prices on the average, and lower property taxes than, say, parts of Kansas City. Now, Kansas City, while home prices are slightly higher than Omaha's, KC is still very affordable, though, when you compare it to the national average. In addition, Kansas City is going to offer more housing variety, but there are some areas, especially in Johnson County, that are going to be more expensive. So when it comes to the cost of housing, Omaha is the winner, but Kansas City is going to give you more options. So here's a quick question. Are you looking for the cheapest option or the best value? Let me know in the comment section below. So let's focus now a little bit on the housing market, because in Omaha, here's what you're going to see. More uniform neighborhoods, there are going to be newer developments, and there's going to be less price range diversity. In Kansas City, on the other hand, huge variety in the housing market. You've got urban living, suburbs, as well as lake communities, and you have entry level to luxury all in one metro. So Kansas City is going to give you way more choices depending on your lifestyle. So the question you need to ask yourself is, what's more important to you, price or options? Now let's talk a little bit about something that can make or break your decision. And that happens to be the job market and the economy. Now in Omaha, the economy is known for being stable and steady. You've got major employers like Berkshire Hathaway, Union Pacific Railroad, Mutual of Omaha. And what that creates, though, is a job market that is reliable, less volatile, as well as not overly dependent upon trends. In fact, a lot of people working here are in the insurance, finance, transportation, and corporate services. So the takeaway here is this. Omaha isn't flashy, but it is dependable. But then there's a trade-off. It's not a hyper-growth city. You're not seeing massive expansion or constantly new industries moving in. Whereas Kansas City is a different story. In Kansas City, the economy is more diverse and growing. You've got major sectors like healthcare, logistics and distribution, tech and engineering, as well as finance. And big employers, well, they include the likes of Garmin, University of Kansas Health Systems, Cerner, which is now part of Oracle. And because Kansas City sits right in the middle of the country, it's a major logistics hub, which means there's warehousing, transportation, supply chain jobs. Kansas City has more moving parts, and that creates more opportunity. You're also seeing major investments coming into the region. You've got new manufacturing. You've got tech and infrastructure, expansion of healthcare systems, which means the job market isn't just stable, but more importantly, it's evolving. Now look, if you work remotely, this might not matter as much, but keep in mind, but what does matter is the economic strength of a city impacts things such as home values, growth, long-term opportunity. So the real difference is Omaha equals stable, predictable, lower growth. Kansas City, more diverse, more opportunity, and more upside. Again, neither one is wrong. It's simply going to depend upon what you're looking for. So, question to ask yourself, would you rather have stability or growth and opportunity? Look, Omaha is a great place to maintain a career, but Kansas City is a great place to grow one. So what is the lifestyle like, and what is there to do in these two cities? Well, Omaha is more simple. It's more relaxed. And honestly, for a lot of people, that's exactly what they want. You've got places like the Henry Doorly Zoo and Aquarium, which is consistently ranked as one of the best zoos in the country. Honestly, I love their zoo. I never got tired of spending an afternoon there. And then you've got the Old Market District, which gives you brick streets, local shops, restaurants, a lot of atmosphere and charm. I mean, it's a really cool, walkable place. And then you've got downtown areas like the Jean Leahy Mall and the riverfront, which have been completely redeveloped. So now you've got green space, trails, and a really clean city feel to it. Now, Omaha is not trying to overwhelm you. It's designed to be easy, but there is a trade-off, because once you've done these spots a few times, the variety, it starts to feel a little bit limited. It's not a city that's constantly changing or evolving with new things to do every weekend. So, question, do you find that to be a good thing, or would that become somewhat boring to you? Now, Kansas City is on a different level when it comes to lifestyle. Here you've got areas like the Country Club Plaza, which feels almost like a mini European district with high-end shopping, restaurants, seasonal events, and Christmas lights that people come and travel to see. Then you've got the Power and Light District. There you've got restaurants, bars, live music, a big game watch party area, and a nightlife that actually feels like a bigger city, but without the big city hassles. And one of the most underrated parts of Kansas City is the Crossroads Art District. Every first Friday of the month, it completely transforms. Art galleries are open free to the public. You've got all types of food trucks, there's live music, and thousands of people who are walking around enjoying the sights and the music. And then culturally, you've got places like the Nelson Atkins Museum of Art, which is honestly a world-class museum, and it's completely free. Now, then let's add in sports, because Kansas City has the NFL Kansas City Chiefs, the Major League Baseball Kansas City Royals. They have two professional soccer teams, the women's Kansas City Current and the men's the Sporting Club. And game days here, they feel very different. They're like an event. That is something that Omaha just doesn't have at that level. And we even haven't talked about food yet. Kansas City is known globally for its barbecue, but it goes way beyond that. You've got upscale dining, you've got hidden local spots, coffee shops everywhere, and there's a constant new restaurant opening up, it seems like, every day. Now, Omaha has a great food scene, but Kansas City's is deeper and it's always evolving. So here's the real difference. Omaha is predictable, it's easy, and it's relaxed. Kansas City, dynamic, growing, and something is always happening. That said, one isn't better than the other, but having said that, they do feel very different to live in. So here's a quick tip. If you're someone who likes trying new places every weekend, Kansas City is going to feel a lot bigger than it actually is. So here's my question to you. Do you get out often, or are you more of a homebody? Leave your answer in the comment section below. Let's now talk about something that affects your life every single day, and that would be your commute. In Omaha, commuting is quite simple. Most people are looking at a 15 to 25 minute commute. You've got minimal traffic, and it's easy in and it's easy out. And unlike major cities like Dallas, Houston, Denver, LA, you're not really planning your day around traffic. Now, Kansas City is a different story. In Kansas City, everything is more spread out. In fact, Kansas City is over 300 square miles, making it one of the most spread out cities in the country. And that, frankly, is going to change how you live here every single day. Now, you've got major corridors like the I-435 loop, US 69, and I-35. And while the highway system here is actually very, very good, you're covering more distance, and that's the key. In Kansas City, it's not the traffic that gets you, it's the distance. For instance, Overland Park to downtown Kansas City is 20 to 35 minutes. Lee Summit to the Country Club Plaza, 25 to 40 minutes. And if you live in South Kansas City or South Johnson County, your airport is anywhere from 30 to 45 minutes. And during rush hour, you're going to experience bottlenecks in downtown. I-435 and I-35 and 69 are going to slow down, but here's the key. Unlike other major cities, though traffic may slow down, it continues to move, and that's the most important thing. So here's the trade-off. Omaha, you've got shorter, easier, predictable commutes. Kansas City, longer drives, but you have more opportunities and options to get where you're going due to a more comprehensive infrastructure. So here's the question I would pose. What's your maximum commute time before it becomes a deal breaker? Now let's talk about everyone's favorite, the weather, because this surprises a lot of people. At a glance, Omaha and Kansas City look quite similar, but having lived in both, they feel quite different. Omaha's weather tends to be colder in the winter, windier overall, with more weather extreme swings. And trust me, that wind that comes across the plains, well, you're definitely going to feel it. Omaha winters hit just a little bit harder than you would expect. Now, Kansas City is slightly more moderate, but it also comes with its own trade-offs. You've got hotter, more humid summers, and in the spring, you've got more severe storms. After all, Kansas City does lie in Tornado Alley. But longer, comfortable seasons like fall and spring, these two seasons alone make Kansas City's weather very attractive. So here's a quick example. Despite the close proximity to one another, you might get snow in Omaha and rain in Kansas City on the same day. So overall, Omaha's weather is colder, windier, and a little bit more extreme. Kansas City, milder winters, hotter summers with humidity, but you've got those two awesome seasons, fall and spring. So it boils down to preference. Do you prefer cold and dry or hot and humid? Me personally, I prefer hot and humid because I like the long, wonderful spring and fall seasons that Kansas City affords. Now, if you're moving with the family, and even if you're not, this might be one of the most important sections in the entire video, and that has to do with schools. Now, in Omaha, you've got the Elkhorn Public School District, you've got the Millard Public School District, and the Westside Community Schools. These are all regarded consistent districts. Omaha schools tend to be solid across the board. You're going to find less variation between the different school districts, and it's going to make it easier to decide where you want to live. Omaha is simpler when it comes to deciding where to live based on the schools. Now, with Kansas City is a completely different setup because you're dealing with multiple states and districts. For instance, the top Kansas side districts include Blue Valley, Shawnee Mission, Olathe, and DeSoto. And on the Missouri side, the top school districts include the Lee Summit R7 and the Park Hill School District. But here's the key difference. Kansas City has some of the top-rated school districts in the entire Midwest. But having said that, you have to be more intentional about where you live. So, here's the reality when it comes to school. Omaha is consistent and it's easier to decide where you're going to locate in Omaha. Kansas City, higher ceiling, but more variation, so it's incumbent upon you to be more intentional as you make your decision where you're going to locate in Kansas City. So let me ask you this. Would you rather have consistency, or would you aim for the top tier schools, even if it takes a little bit more research? All right, So which city is actually better, Omaha or Kansas City? And here's the truth. There is no universal better. There's only what's better for you. Omaha is a great choice if priority is simplicity. It's easier to navigate, it's more predictable, it's less overwhelming, and your day-to-day life is going to feel quieter, more controlled, and less rushed. And honestly, for a lot of people, especially if you're coming from a high stress or a high cost area, that's exactly what they want. Omaha doesn't try to impress you, it just works. Now, Kansas City, it's different. It's for people who want more options, they're looking for more variety, or wanting more opportunities. Here you can choose your lifestyle. You've got urban living, suburban living, as well as lake communities and luxury areas. And every part of the city feels just a little bit different. And more importantly, you've got a strong job market, you've got more entertainment opportunities, as well as more things to explore. And honestly, it feels like a bigger city than it actually is, again, without having that big city hassle. Look, Kansas City is going to give you room to grow into your life, not just settle into it. If we make a simple comparison, Omaha is easier, Kansas City is bigger. Omaha is consistent, Kansas City is more dynamic. Omaha is comfortable, Kansas City gives you more possibilities. So here's the question you need to ask yourself. Do you want a life that feels simple and predictable, or do you want more options, even if it comes with a little more complexity? So I'm going to leave you with this. And in the comments section, tell me, which one are you choosing right now? Omaha or Kansas City? Hey, and if you are leaning towards Kansas City and you're trying to figure out which area fits your lifestyle, what homes actually look like in your price range, or how to make a smooth move here, well, that's exactly what I help people do every single day. So if that's the case, feel free to reach out anytime. I'd be happy to help. You can get a hold of me by text, phone, email, or better yet, schedule a Zoom call. Look, Omaha is a great place to live. I lived there for a little bit, but Kansas City is a great place to build a life. Look, there's no wrong answer. It just depends on you. So, again, if you're thinking about making a move to the Kansas City area, I'd love to help you through that process. Whether it's finding the right area, the right home, or simply getting pre-approved, I got you covered. Reach out anytime, like and share the video, and be sure to subscribe. And I'll see you in the next video.